Hey, Ryan Salfson here with Accelerate Marketing, and today I'm going to talk to you about why Google Ads is really dead. So the reason why Google Ads, or regular pay-per-click Google Ads, I should really specify, is, in my opinion, on its way out for certain verticals or for certain industries is because number one, it's PPC and not PPC. So let me explain that. So it's pay-per-click and not pay-per-call, okay? So regular Google Ads is actually pay per click and again, not pay per phone call. So you actually pay every time that somebody clicks on your ad, whereas Google Local Service Ads is pay per phone call so that you only pay for actual phone calls and not just clicks. You can get message leads, but primarily people just pick the phone up and they call you, or they click to call. So that's number one. Number two is because there's really no reviews in Google Ads, as you know. I mean, for the most part, most of the time, I'd say 95 to 98% of the time, when people run Google Ads or businesses run Google Ads, they do not use social proof. They do not use reviews. They cannot use reviews because they don't meet the criteria in order to be able to use reviews. And a lot of times they have to be a special type of review in order to be able to use them. Whereas Google Local Service Ads, it's baked right in. The reason why is because the reviews that go to your local service ad page actually come from your Google Business Profile page. So they share them. So the reviews from your Google Business Profile actually show up on your Google Local Service Ad page. They're actually connected. So that's number two. The reason why I think that Google Ads are dead is because there's no specificity, meaning there's no way to actually be very specific in terms of what area that advertiser is in. If you're looking for a business on Google, and let's say you type in personal injury attorney near me, let's say you're in West Palm Beach, Florida, you're not going to know that those businesses are actually in West Palm Beach. There's no guarantee. But with local service ads, you can be guaranteed that those businesses are local. It says X number of businesses located near, and it says the city. So it's very specific, okay? So that's why it's super important to advertise, if you can, on Google Local Service Ads, especially if you're a local business. That's what local service ads were designed for, is for local businesses in general, both professional and service-based businesses. So anyway, that's number three. Number four is that there's really no authority. And this, by the way, I also want to say this, there's 5 psychological triggers. And I'm going to share with you all the 5 psychological triggers. And this is the reason why actually there's about 35 to 40% of people in certain studies that actually click in the Google Local Service Ads section. Number one, it's right at the top, okay? Which gives you a ton of authority, which is what we're talking about right now. Google actually endorses local service ad businesses by literally putting a green checkbox right above the ad unit. So you know that it's either Google Screened or Google Guaranteed. Those are the 2 varieties of local service ads. It's Google Screened or Google Guaranteed. Google Guaranteed is for service-based businesses. Google Screened is for professional services. You get that green checkbox if you're advertising in the local service ad section. If you look right below it, you'll see the regular Google ads. There's nothing there that has a Google green checkbox next to your name as a business, or at the top that says, Google Screened or Google Guaranteed. That's the 4th reason. Now, also, I will say that there's no authority when you actually rank below, or there's lesser authority when you rank below. In other words, the regular Google ads show up below the local service ads. That's the other authoritative posture that local service ads have, is that they are ranked literally at the top of Google. So if that isn't authority, I don't know what is. So that's really, really important for everybody to understand, that that's where a lot of authority comes from, is when you're at the top of Google and you've got that green checkbox that says that you're endorsed by Google. So number 5 is there's no scarcity, okay? This is kind of you can nitpick on this one, but the scarcity means that there's only a finite number of businesses. And I would say with local service ads, because there's only 2 at the top there, and actually because you can be one only now, there is an opportunity to show up as the only business at the top of Google in the local service ads section. If you take advantage of local service ads as a business earlier, meaning you jump in the game really quick ahead of your competitors, then you will have the opportunity to show up right there at the top as the only local service ad business, the only Google guaranteed or Google screen business right at the top of Google. That just recently was introduced by Google local service ads about 2 months ago, where you could literally show up as the only business right at the top of Google. So please take advantage of that. If you're a business, especially in these new verticals that are being launched all the time, new ones are coming out. Everybody will be surprised, I'm sure, with how big of a vertical is coming out, here in another 2 to 3 months. We are Google local service ads partners. So that means that we do get information, we get beta testing, we can beta test new things, we get special access to the API, and that gives us sometimes an unfair advantage to help our clients get better results. We also can identify where the next best locations are for you to open up if you're interested in doing that. But again, 5 reasons why I think Google Ads is on its way out eventually. And again, it's pay per click and not pay per call. There's no reviews that are really associated with Google Ads, and there's a ton of social proof with Google local service ads. There's no specificity with Google Ads in terms of what area those businesses serve, whereas local service ads there is. There's no authority with the regular Google Ads. There's no authority there in terms of being endorsed by Google, but absolutely with local service ads there is. You're right at the top. That's very authoritative in and of itself. And then there's that green checkbox right next to your business, and then also right at the top of where the Google LSA section is. And then there's no scarcity with Google Ads. You can leverage scarcity for sure with Google local service ads, meaning you can show up as only 1 or maybe even 2 businesses, or maybe even just 1 business if you get in early enough and really take advantage of being right there at the top with those reviews. Here's my bonus is there's really 5 psychological triggers, and you can see if you watch a lot of late night infomercials, you'll see all these 5 psychological triggers baked in to the late night infomercials. It's specificity, social proof, authority, scarcity, and then time sensitivity. So I went over pretty much all those. Authority you went over, scarcity is meaning there's not many of them, and then time sensitivity is another one. That's the only one that we really didn't mention, meaning you need to take advantage of this offer within so many days or so many minutes or it goes away. So that's the only psychological trigger of all 5 that local service ads doesn't really leverage that much. But I will say that there's probably even a way that they're going to get that baked into those local service ads sometime soon. We also know from studies, just based on the numbers, again, 35% click in the local service ad section, maybe even 40%, and that's going up all the time. Google Ads is somewhere, regular Google Ads, especially when you're looking for local businesses, only about a 10 to 15% click-through rate. And then when you get down to the Google Business Profile section, that's where you get about another 20 to 25% or maybe even 30% of the clicks. So if you just focus on the LSA and the Google Business Profile, you're capturing about 70, almost 80% of the total clicks on that page. Why? Because all 5 psychological triggers are being leveraged. I hope this makes sense. If you want our 3R video, then just text the acronym LSA to 619-304-5155. Again, that's 619-304-5155, or just text me at that same number.